Hi everybody, this is Kevin and welcome back to another manga review. And today we're going to be taking a look at Fairy Tail Volume 39 from Hiro Mashima, which, while the Great Magic Games are over, but this arc is still going on, another volume or two. I think it ends at Volume 40. You know, the aftermath of the Grand Magic Games and I guess the battle against all the dragons. And yeah, this is full of a lot of action. You can see on the cover right here all the dragon slayers, and dude, when you see the reveal there, you know, you saw at the end of the last volume with Jalal running into Lahar and Doranbolt, and he said, I have a favor to ask of you. So, holy shit, dude, this volume was great. This whole arc has been amazing. I've been told by commenters that this is one of their favorite arcs. And from what I've read, there's like 2 or 3 other arcs after this. There's like a small arc and then 2 really big arcs to end the series. And of course, it goes on with 100 Years Quest. So it'll never end. But yeah, man, a lot of great stuff in the last volume. We saw the finish between Urza and Minerva with their epic battle. We saw, you know, Loxus defeat Jorah. We saw Gajiel defeat Rogue. And all sorts of other great stuff. And of course, Gray and Juvia defeat Leon and Sheria. And then with future Lucy, we learned about, you know, the horrible events that were about to transpire, the 10,000 dragons arriving. And then, as predicted by other characters and, you know, myself included, there was someone else from the future who turned out to be future Rogue, who is on a mission to kill Lucy. So it ended with Natsu facing off against future Rogue after future Rogue, you know, was ready to kill Lucy, and then the future Lucy stepped in the way, killing herself, protecting, you know, the current timeline Lucy. So, really sad moment there. You saw Natsu snap in his rage. So let's get to this right here. A lot of great stuff on this asshole, this Rogue, which you kind of got a little preview of that when, you know, the shadow overtook the normal Rogue. And there she is, man. Whew. But anyway, so what happened was the king was getting everyone all rallied to battle against the dragons, and ominously, it's July 7th, which on July 7th in the year 777, you know, all the dragons disappeared from the dragon slayers from Gajiel. That's when Ignil disappeared and all that, and Grandini and Gajiel's dragon. I forget Gajiel's dragon's name, but anyway, Rogue was saying how Lucy's going to close the gate, where here she is opening the gate. And, you know, Rogue continues to say, oh, that Lucia, she'll have to be killed because she's going to close the gate. Destiny is you're not able to defeat Destiny, so you have to kill her. Oh. And Natsu's like, come on, shut up, you bastard. I'm going to kill you. So Natsu activates his Raiden Ryu mode, which is the Fire Thunder Dragon mode, or Thunder Fire Dragon mode, I should say. And they're doing quite well when we learn that Rogue here activates the White Shadow Dragon form, which he reveals he learned from Sting after he killed Sting. It's like, what the fuck, man? You're killing Sting, your best friend? He's like, oh, the future hasn't been so kind to me. I took his powers. Ha ha ha. And Natsu's like, oh, what the hell, man? You and Sting were tight. So then we have Altair save the day. And, you know, because Sting ran away because he's just after Lucy. He's just slowing Natsu down. I guess he'll kill Natsu at a later date, he thinks. And Altair and Merity show up to save the day. And she's like, come on, Natsu, you gotta wake up. And Natsu starts slipping into the shadows when all of a sudden, you know, Lucy is looking at this gate that's open and she's walking towards it, and it's like, no, we can't open that door. We have to shut it now. So, wow, Rogue's prediction really is coming true. And she's like, you have to shut it. And, you know, Princess Hisui says, no, we have to keep it open to accumulate enough power to defeat the dragons. And as all this is going on, they realize that there's an eclipse in the sky, and through the door, a dragon is walking out. So, you know, we knew this, that future Rogue was a villain. I mean, you can just tell by the way the guy looks. So, he wanted to kill Lucy because in the future, she's fated to close the door when he wants the door to be open so that all the dragons can come out and do his bidding. And here they come. So, the fucker lied about 10,000 dragons. Well, I guess 10,000 dragons could theoretically come if the door was kept open long enough. But they're all coming out. And I guess look at the detail of all the dragons, how they look. They're all pretty badass looking. And just how powerful they are. Because we know, just based on Acnologia, how strong dragons are. And granted, these dragons aren't as strong as Acnologia. but they're strong nonetheless. And they keep coming through, and it's like, how do we close that door? We got to close the door now. And they're trying to close it, but they're not strong enough. You know? So they figure out that they need to use the celestial spirits to close the door, because that's what they used to open the door. And a great moment with Lucy saying, the other Lucy, I have to live for her. I need to laugh, cry, and live enough for both me and her. And then back to Natsu being sucked into the shadow with Ultier trying to rescue him, and he grabs Ultier. I gotta go. I made a promise to protect the future. So the two of them, we gotta protect the future for Lucy. So the dragons continue to come through. I mean, how many is it now? It ends up being 7 dragons. But then we get Yukino appearing, and she says, we have to use the golden keys, the celestial spirits, to close the gate. Let's do it. So they have all 12 celestial spirits. I think Lucy has 10, Yukino has 2. So that's all 12 of them, and they perform their incantation, summon all the spirits. And they race to shut the door, which they do. But 7 dragons have made their way, and Rogue smirks, 7 is more than enough. Haha. And that's when he says, look, he says this too. 10,000 would have been hard to control. Yeah, because he has some sort of magic where he can control the dragons now. And you see them all up there. I mean, look at these beasts. The new age of dragons begins. So they're just wreaking havoc. And then they come across Zirconus again, which when they were in the dragon graveyard, they brought his spirit back, and he told the tale of how Acnologia came to be, how he was once a man who used Dragon Slayer magic, but killed so many dragons, he became a dragon himself. And then there's this one, Atlas Flame, and they're just beating the hell out of everybody, and no one's able to really do much, when all of a sudden we see Natsu on top of this building here. Look at him. Look at the menace in his face, ready to attack a Rogue to make him pay for what he did to future Lucy. Natsu Dragneel. Look at I just noticed their faces there as Lox is getting a haircut. My goodness. So Natsu's racing up there to make Rogue pay for what he's done. And you know, Makarov's standing strong, trying to fight against Atlas Flame here, but really no one can do much. Even Makarov, one of the strongest wizards there, his fucking hands on fire. But, you know, they're like, come on, we're Dragon Slayers. We can defeat dragons. And this is what we learned, because Sting was bragging before when he was kind of like a cocky asshole. He was bragging how he killed his dragon, when in all actuality, Logia, that's the name of his dragon, was old and ill, and basically asked Sting to put him out of his misery. So that's bookend on that story. So Rogue basically says that he went back to the past here to get these dragons to control to defeat Acnologia, because in 7 more years, funny how they keep using that number, but in 7 more years, that's when Acnologia is going to make his next move and kill everybody. So he needs dragons to defeat Acnologia. So I will defeat them all and become the new ruler. Haha. And then Natsu gets an idea here where he starts screaming from the top of his lungs. And he says, Dragon Slayer magic can take these dragons down. There are 7 Dragon Slayers, and there are 7 dragons. Our magic is meant for today, right now. The whole reason we Dragon Slayers exist is to fight right now. And then Rogue, damn you. Let's go, we're hunting dragons. But think for a minute. Natsu 1. Loxus 2, Gajiel 3, Wendy 4, Sting 5, Rogue 6. What does he mean by 7? I can hear him. And then it cuts to Lahar and Dorenbolt, and he says, dragons are attacking the city. Yeah, I heard. You're not our first choice, but we need your help. I heard it all, Natsu, and our boy Cobra from the Orashion Cease. They're letting this fucker out of jail to fight the dragons. Would you look at that, man? Oh, I love it. Absolutely great reveal right there, seeing him return to help the good guys fight the dragons for a bit. And I gotta make note of this right here. When did this book come out? Let's see the copyright. It's in the back here. Came out in 2013, 2014. Doesn't this remind you of Eden Zero right there? I mean, look at that ship, outer space, Urzit or space gear. Like, how far back was Mashima planning Eden Zero? Because I think Eden Zero started in 2017 or 2018. So, he's been thinking about that for a long time, huh? Gotta love that. So the Dragon Slayers are ready to initiate, but Rogue is like, oh, how futile. You cannot defeat dragons. And then all of a sudden, this beast here that he's riding on shoots all these things down to the ground, which turn out to be little dragon eggs. And they all come out, attacking all the citizens and all the other wizards. So everyone has to fight here. So everyone's going on their separate paths to take down the dragons while all the others fight the little dragons. And that's some good stuff. And then you get this moment here with Sting is, it's the courage to protect my friends. We've taken a step forward. And Frosh and Lecter are so happy. Fro thinks so also. And they're ready to fight. And then you got Jenny, will my sex appeal tactic work? And Ichia, my most prized perfume. The perfume of my underarms. Of course it doesn't work. And oh no. Poor Ichia. Oh, our poor gag character. But Cobra stepping in, attacking. Oh, man, I love it. And they're like, oh, he's part of the Orashion Sace. What's he doing here? Well, he's got to help. Shall we join them? So, yeah, even Lahar and Dornbolt. When you go back as far as the Orashion Sace arc, and Lahar was all about throwing Jalal and everyone in prison, and here he is teaming up with bad guys for the greater good. You got to love that development. Absolutely, man. So, Carla's giving Wendy a little pep talk here to rally the troops and say, come on, you're a Dragon Slayer too. You got to fight. Let's do it. So Zirconis, he's threatening, I'm going to eat all of you. And he uses this magic to take everyone's clothes off. And he's like, oh, humans, we're not going to linger on that page for too long. He's like, humans, they taste good, but their clothes are just nasty. I gotta get rid of their clothes. And, he's like, I'm going to eat y'all. Look at Lucy. Oh, no. Ah. So Wendy's getting ready to fight, just as Zirconis is ready to eat Lucy. And she's stepping up. You got Mira Jane using her attack. And you gotta love these seeds right here, don't you? Look at her. Oh no, help me. Wendy using her magic and all sorts of crazy stuff. So amongst that, Zirconis dropped Lucy. She's flying through the air during, Rogue and Natsu's battle. Natsu! And she hits Natsu. Oh, Elena's right in here, falls on top of Natsu. And, his face falls right on her tits. My eyes! Eek! Who goes flying through the air with no clothes on? Don't look! If you insist. And he grabs her so he's not looking. Oh my god, I love it. You gotta love the two of them. So what happens is, she's talking about how there's all these different dragons. There's the fire dragon, the rock dragon, Zirconis, we're not matched up properly. And Natsu, that's it! I have a great idea! I found a way to beat them! So everyone's getting their asses kicked here. And Jalal joins the battlefield to save Urza. Look at that, man. Finally, we're seeing Jalal. Because, again, he's been, lingering for volumes and volumes. He's sort of sitting there, ready to make his move. And Natsu's racing off, and Virgo comes in to give Lucy a change of clothes. And look at her face. Natsu, happy, wait for me. Look at her pouting away. That guy always comes up with the most ridiculous plans, but they always work, don't they? And Virgo, you two do like to frolic in the nude together. No, we don't. So Natsu makes his way over to Atlas Flame. And with his ingenious plan, says, I found you, fire dragon. My name's Natsu. I'm gonna eat you. And yep, that's how he replenishes his power, by eating fire. So he's gonna eat the whole dragon. And Natsu's like, oh, go to the castle. You'll defeat that dragon. I'll take care of this one. And he continues eating him. And Atlas Flame says, how can my flame be eaten by a puny human? It can't be. The feeling, it feels just like the fire dragon Igneal. And he asks Natsu, who exactly are you? What is your connection to Igneal? And Natsu says, well, you know Igneal? And Atlas Flame says, he's the fire dragon like me and my king. And Natsu, is that right? Well, Igneal is my dad. So to that, Atlas Flame decides to help Natsu because of the connection to Igneal, which you gotta love that. And everyone's fighting their dragons. You got Gajiel fighting, you got Sting, you got Cobra. You got Wendy, and then Natsu making his way back to Rogue with Atlas Flame fighting the dragon. And Natsu's like, oh, thanks, mister. And the dragon says, Ignil's child is a child of one of my own kind. So here's a great drawing right there. And some talking about the timeline shenanigans. I guess it could be confusing to others, but I get it. I think most of you guys probably get the timeline. So they're fighting here, and Natsu says, I become friends with Mr. Atlas Flame. And Rogue's like, no, you must obey me, you fools. And that's just that. And yet, Rogue concedes the fact that he like powered up too from eating Atlas's flame, or Atlas Flame's fire, or however you'd word it. So the battle continues, and amongst this, Rogue's shadow appears again, as Rogue, the future Rogue, is talking to Natsu, basically saying like, that shadow will consume me, and all will be consumed by darkness. And this cuts back to a little while ago, as Ultir is looking on with Rogue, and cuts back over here to, when Natsu was saved by them, and she was talking to Merity, basically saying, if we kill the Rogue in this timeline, he'll die. The future Rogue will, because that's why future Lucy protect the real Lucy, or the Lucy from the current timeline, because if, the Lucy from the current timeline died, the future Lucy would die too. So Ultir is thinking, well shit, if I just kill the Rogue in this timeline, then we're good. And Natsu's like, no, you can't do that, because the Rogue in the current timeline is a good man. It's the future one we have to worry about, because we can help the Rogue from our timeline go on a better path. But Ultir's saying, well, shit, we gotta kill Rogue. We gotta save the future any way possible. So then Miliana is ready to attack Jalal, I guess, to get her revenge, until Ultir shows up, and Ultir's like, I was the one controlling Jalal, which she was, but she's a good guy now. To sort of take the heat off Jalal. God damn, look at her ass. But anyway. Everyone's conceding their past, and basically, we've all done bad things in the past, but we got to move on with the future here and think about the right path. And as all this is going on, Ultir collapses and says, is that who I am? Just a murderer? So, as she collapses to her knees, she says, I can't kill him. I just can't do it. It's my biggest problem. I decided to murder an innocent man. What am I? She's shaken, just in complete defeat here, wondering what she can do, how she can ever wash away her sins. So as that's happening, of course everyone's getting separated again, and Merity runs into Juvia and is like, oh, where's Gray? And just as that's happening, one of those dragons is firing a beam, and Gray saves Juvia and Merity. And then we get this scene, oh, Gray saw I felt Juvia's bottom. But as this is happening, and they're continuing, to talk, another beam is fired, hits Gray right in the heart. And the horror in their eyes is he's getting blasted by all these dragons. Look at this. He's part of his arms falling off. Just blasts everywhere. The shock in their faces, Juvia crying. And then you see a blast right through Gray's head. And then Ultir says, I don't have the right to live anymore. And all around the battlefield, everyone is just getting defeated. You see Bacchus here, seemingly dies. Droy, not breathing. Macau here getting attacked by the dragon. Just everyone getting defeated. And they're like, Sharia, where are you? You have to heal Gray. And they say he was shot through the head. So this goes back to some of Ultir's past, basically talking about how, all the innocent people she's harmed, and, how she doesn't have the right to live anymore. I mean, we get the scene of her with Master Hades in the past, where she's learning this ancient magic. She has the Arc of Time, where she can essentially revert time for a short while. And she's learning this book called The Last Ages, which basically forfeits her remaining life to send time backwards. And Hades is like, don't ever do that, because you essentially give your own life to go back in time. And young Ultir says, I don't want to do that, but current Ultir, now I do. If the world can be put back to normal for a mere price of my life, I will gladly give my life for that. Arc of time, last ages, please return the world to normal, at least to the time before the door was opened. Look at the clock right there. Take back the time allotted to me. Look at that scene too, man. Oh my goodness. And he just like charges up her whole body, like burns her. Has time turned back? And look at the time. 1 minute? I paid with my life and only received 1 minute? No, I couldn't save a single person. But meanwhile, it cuts back just to where Gray was blasted. And he thinks, because he has a premonition like, oh shit, am I going to get shot? Look that way, guys. And by going back that 1 minute because of Altair, everyone is able to be saved. So, and they all recognize, like, I knew for an instant he was going to be there. How did I know that? And let's see how does it end here. It says that 1 minute became the catalyst for humanity's counterattack. So yeah, Altair gave up her life to go back 1 minute to save our friends. So again, another great volume here. I loved it. A little spoiler with the cover, seeing that guy, Cobra. But great moment seeing Cobra come out and join the battlefield. Let me see if I can find that scene again for you guys. And Atlas Flame came out with Natsu. That was awesome. So much good stuff. Yeah, Lahar and Doranville putting aside their differences to let a prisoner out to help them on the battlefield. And then I love all this shit too of Naked Lucy and all that. Hey, watch yourself, bucko. And then where's her cute little pouty face? Yeah, right here. Like, oh, you left about me. And then, yeah, Altair, I gotta say, she's a bit of an underrated fairy tale girl in terms of the looks. I mean, she is, goddamn, she's gorgeous. And using the arc of time to sacrifice herself. What an honorable gesture. So some great stuff, guys. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below. Oh, yeah, Mashima mentioned, too, their heroic standoff in the last volume when they defeated Sting. He had to redraw it a bunch of times. I like the one that came out. I don't really like that one where they're all facing center. I kind of like it at an angle. That was pretty good. So, thanks, guys. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below, and stay tuned for more videos coming soon. Have a great day.